What's going on, guys, and welcome back to LOI TV. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at every Premier Division side in the LOI and saying one player that they need to sign for their squad ahead of the upcoming 2021 season. We will be doing an LOI transfer show soon, going through each team with all their done deals and rumours and outgoings and stuff like that as well. That'll be coming out on Sunday evening, I believe, so keep your eyes peeled for that and make sure to subscribe so you never ever miss an upload with your notifications on as well. Do appreciate it. And if you do go to enjoy the video, please do hit the like button on it down below. If you do hit 50 likes, that is the goal. We really appreciate it. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Starting off with Bows, they'll of course be disappointed to lose out on like a striker option. I thought Yo-Yo Maddie would have been the ideal option to kind of have alongside Georgie Kelly to play up front. Obviously with Andre Wright looking like he's leaving the club, but they missed out on Yo-Yo Maddie of course. At right back, they've looked like they lost Andy Lyons. They brought in Rory Feely, who can do a job there, although I do think he's better at centre back. So I do think they could do it a right back maybe, but I have a weird feeling Andy Lyons will sign back with Bows. I don't think he's ready to go across the pond just yet. I think he could do another year or two with Keith Long's side. I think the centre of midfield is where they definitely need a player. They're after signing Stephen Malone, Alua for the wing areas. I think they're two decent signings. They should be okay enough. Maybe one right hand side winger could come in handy. I know one of them could play over on the right as well. So I think central midfield is definitely an area where they need to improve the position beside Keith Buckley. JJ Loney was there for long parts of last season. He of course left. I don't think Conor Livingston, he's a good player, good squad rotation, but I don't think he's good enough to be starting week in, week out. So I think if they've been rumoured with Bastien Herry, I think that's a good option for Bows. He has been linked to St. Pat's, to Shales, to one or two others as well, Dundalk and stuff I think. But I think of Bows, I think they're apparently leading the race for Bastien Herry at the moment. This video is being filmed on the Wednesday. It's coming out on the Thursday evening, so it could have even been done by the time this video comes out. That seems to be the way a little bit with these rumours at the moment because everything's happening so fast. But I think Bastien Herry will be a fantastic signing for Bows and really kind of elevate them in the middle of the park. Moving on to Derry City, as I mentioned there, Stephen Malone's loan did end with the club and he has moved on a permanent deal to Bows, which is a blow for Derry. So they'll be on the lookout for wingers. Carlo Sullivan was rumoured to be joining Derry City, but he has signed back with Finn Harps for the 2021 campaign. Derry are believed to be looking at Conor McMenamin, a left winger for Cliftonville. He's probably one of the better players in the Northern Irish League at the moment. Very, very good winger, 25 years of age, so coming into his prime as well. But he does have 2.5 years left on his contract, and Cliftonville's manager has come out and said it would take a hefty transfer fee for him to leave the club, and that is a bit of a blow for Derry. I don't think they could probably afford the transfer fee that will be required to bring him to the Brandywell. An alternative that they've apparently been looking at is Mark Walsh, former Finn Harps winger. It was at Swansea City, a young left winger. I think he could provide them with a little bit something. I think he'll be one that they need to bring in. They definitely need someone in that area, and I think he'll be the one that they eventually do opt for. Drogheda United next, and they've done some tidy business so far, bringing in Premier Division experience, which I really do rate. I like the way they've brought in the likes of Dinny Corcoran, Gary Deegan. O'Reilly's had a year or two in the Premier Division as well. Dar Markey has played loads of times for St. Pat's in the centre of the park as well, so he'll bring experience too. I don't think Drogheda are in desperate need of a position in particular. I think if something came up maybe in a forward area, they would go for it. But I think maybe someone like a Conor McCormack, I think he might be available just to give them a little bit more experience in the centre of the park, a bit more of a rotation option. I think him, Deegan and Markey, whether they're competing with each other or playing alongside each other, would give them a lot of experience and really be able to kind of keep them in the division. I think if they got someone like that in, maybe be their captain nearly off straight at the bat. He's played with Cork, he's played with Derry, he knows his way around the league, and I think someone like that would be absolutely essential for Drogheda in avoiding the drop. What looked like disastrous times for Dundalk a couple of months ago with their contract situation, they've kind of got it all nearly sorted out now at this stage, and their team is looking strong for the upcoming season, bringing in a lot of players from abroad, which is strange. But the main one, I think they need that bit of star power just to come in and excite the fans again, and that's exactly what you get if you bring in Richie Towell. If I'm Filippo Giovignoli, he's the man I go all out for. I think he scored 25 goals from midfield in his best season in the Dundalk shirt. Whether they can get the deal done now or at the midway point in the season during the summer remains to be seen. I know Salford have him on contract and they potentially want to use him for the rest of their campaign, but bringing Richie Towell back to the League of Ireland would be such a boost. 29 years of age, he definitely has a good few years left on him as well. I think if Dundalk brought him in, they could really go back and reclaim their title. Finn Harps up next, and for them it's about bringing in players that are going to improve the team straight away. They need to try and establish, I've said it before on the channel, they need to try and establish this season as a Premier Division side, and they're going to do that by bringing in better quality players players. A player that I've identified that I think could be a good option for them is Will Seymour. He hasn't been retained by Sligo Rovers. I think he wanted to stay on with them, so there's a potential that he would want to, he's American, so I think there's a potential that he would want to stay on in Ireland because he did want to stay with Sligo Rovers. I'm surprised Sligo Rovers didn't keep hold of him. I think he would have been a good squad rotation player for them in terms of having cup games in Europe as well, but it wasn't to be. I think he was a bit disappointed by that. So I think for Finn Harps, I think he could be convinced to go up to Donegal. I think it would be a fantastic signing for them and really improve them in the middle of the park, and I think that'd be a really, really good signing for Finn Harps. Longford Town, and at the moment I have them pipped to finish bottom of the league. I think their team probably isn't strong enough. They haven't brought in enough quality. Looking at what Drogheda have brought in compared to Longford, it's night and day really. Looking at players, maybe I think Oscar Brennan's been let go by Shells. I think that could potentially be a good signing. He could do a job in centre back or centre mid for them in terms of that bit of versatility that he brings. I think a loan move for Longford is potentially their best choice in terms of improving their kind of attack. I think they do need to do that before the season starts. I know they already have Rob Manley and then have brought in Dobbs as well, but potentially in the wide areas they need to improve in particular. This one probably seems a little bit in dreamland here, but let me just say it for a second. I think if they can potentially inquire about Brandon Kavanagh's availability on a loan deal, it could have the slightest chance of working out. He's a phenomenal young player and he's definitely should be in Shamrock Rovers' plans for the first team. He was so good in the first division for the Shamrock Rovers B team last year, and as well as been rumours of him going abroad and training with a few English sides as well. But if he is to stay with Shamrock Rovers and not be in their first team plans, a move to the Premier Division where he will be playing first team football, probably their best player, I think it's a win all round. It'll probably be the best thing for his development. Rovers could even make it a short term deal, maybe a 3-month loan, a 4-month loan, and also maybe have a recall clause in his contract. But anything that Longford can do to facilitate this move would be huge. I think he'd be a fantastic signing if they were to even get a hold of him, but I think it's so unlikely. And if he's not available, which he is likely not, maybe they could look to Shamrock Rovers as title contenders, Dundalk for a young loan player. Maybe they could look at the likes of Val Adidokun or Jamie Wynn on a loan. One of these players could potentially improve their squad going forward for the 2021 season in a bid to survive. Shamrock Rovers were also competing for the signature of Richie Tell. It's probably a bit cheating here if I say the same player for two teams, but he's definitely a player that Rovers could replace Jack Byrne with. Jack Byrne, obviously a player that has left the club. Bringing in a star player, a real star name like Richie Tell would really appease the fans more than anything and kind of make them feel a bit better about the upcoming season, because the weight of Jack Byrne's loss is still not yet to be replaced. But Richie Tell wouldn't play in the exact same position, I don't think, as Jack Byrne did, but maybe a similar one. Richie Tell did put up this story on Instagram as well. Take from that what you will. But looking at other options, because I already did say Richie Tell for Dundalk, I do think Rovers need another striker potentially, and I know they have been interested in Joe Gormley previously. I think he might have fallen in the pecking order at the club he's at the moment in Northern Ireland, so potentially could be available on the cheap. I know they offered 30, 40, 50k from last season. I know they've brought in, they probably want to keep Dean Williams' development going, and that might stunt his growth if they were to bring in another striker, but I think they do need to bring another striker, and Joe Gormley could be that man. Moving on to Sligo Rovers, and with the loss of Ronan Coughlin, they probably need to bring in a little attacking type player. I know they do have options up there with De Vries and Jesse Devers, and Romeo Parks coming back to the club as well, but I do think they could probably do it one more option in the attacking areas of the pitch. I think Matty Smith, who was with Waterford last season, he could be a good option for Sligo Rovers, just to give them that bit of versatility. He's a versatile attacker, and I think that could be a good option for Sligo. The addition of Ronan Coughlin is of course a really good signing for St. Pat's. They could maybe do it one more striker potentially up there. They have been rumoured with that Bastian Herry for their midfield options as well. Maybe him alongside Jamie Lennon would work really well as well. Lee Desmond has signed on for the new season. Luke McNally has signed on for the new season despite interest from abroad and in Ireland as well. So the defence looks okay as well, but the obvious thing that they need to bring in is a goalkeeper. The loss of Brendan Clark, and they've also let Connor Kearns go as well. I thought the obvious one was to try an attempt to bring Brian Maher back to the club from Bray Wanderers. He had a fantastic season in the first division, so I'm not too sure why they didn't do that. I know Bray Wanderers have brought in another goalkeeper as well, so potentially a cash move for Brian Maher. Would it be possible? Who knows? I wonder how much it would take, but I think he'd be a perfect option for St. Pat's. And finally, Waterford as well. Their team is in bits, to be honest. They need to start signing players and fast. The particular position they could do it is left back, of course, with Tyreek Wilson leaving the club, Kevin O'Connor leaving the club. This might seem a little bit out there, but could an inquiry about Anthony Breslin's position at Bows be too far out of the question? Where is Breslin going to play next season? I presume Wilson's playing left back. I don't see Keith Long changing his system to fit in two left backs in terms of maybe a back five with Breslin as left side of centre back. I don't think he's going to do that. Don't think he's going to disrupt all the hard work he's put into the 4-2-3-1 formation over the last couple of years. I don't think Breslin will play further up the pitch in like a left mid position. I don't think Breslin wants to sit on the bench all season. He's too good for that. So potentially a loan move to Waterford or something like that. Could that be something that appeals to all parties? Maybe, as I said, a recall clause in that deal in case of a Wilson injury occurred or something like that. Because I just don't think Breslin, he's too good to sit on the bench all season. I don't think he deserves that after the season he put in for Bowes. Yeah, I don't know what the position is going to be like there, but I wouldn't like to see Breslin sit on a bench. I think potentially Waterford inquiring about that they might just sneak it. They put the right clauses in place, they might just sneak that loan move. Well guys, there you have it, a player that each LOI team should sign ahead of the 2021 season. What do you think of my thoughts on each team's player that they need to sign? Let me know down in the comments below. As I said, we will have an LOI transfer show out on Sunday as well, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that one guys, and make sure to subscribe as well with notifications on so you never ever miss an upload. Please do drop a like if you enjoyed the video guys, it is much appreciated. Thanks for watching guys, catch you in a bit.